Hello friends, I Dr.Ashwin Dobariya welcomes you to Programming in C video series. In this video we will discuss a very general topic, you can say how to think about a logic of any C programs or how we can develop a logic of any C program, because friends this is very much important topic, because sometimes what's happened, students are generally mug up the code of C program, but that is not a right practice of learning a programming. So in this video I will explain whenever you want to solve any programs, or you can say you want to write any programs, then how you can start the thinking of that program and how you can write the step-by-step code of that program. So in that video we will discuss this thing. Another part is of this video is we will discuss how to write the algorithms and how to write the draw the flowcharts and the C program of the same definition. So we'll discuss the comparison of all these three of a single program like algorithm, flowchart and C program with the various examples. So let's start the concept of how to think and or you can say develop a logic of any C program, and after this video I will explain various C programs and its logics with the practical demo. Friends, generally whenever you think about the logic of any C programs, then we have to think about three steps. Step number one, first according to the definition of programs, like let me take one example over here. You want to write a C program, very basic program, like to calculate the sum of two numbers. Then how you can think about the logic of this program? So first steps is input. Second step is what type of process you want to perform in these programs, and third, what should be the output of this program. So if you want to calculate sum of two numbers, then we know that okay, we have to provide two number as an input to our programs, right? So first steps is identify list of variables and appropriate data type. So here we require two number as a inputs and both are number, so data type is an integer. So this first steps you have to think about which are the variables are required in this program. Once you identify the variables, then second step you have to identify the appropriate data type. That data type we'll discuss in detail, but suppose you want to manage a numbers without decimal points, then give a data type integer. If you want to manage the number with decimal point, then give a data type as a float. And suppose you want to manage a single character, then data type is character. So at initial phase we'll use only the three data types: integer, float and character. Now once you identify the variables and its data type, then second step you have to think about what type of operation you want to perform in your program. So that is known as the actual logic of your programs, or you can say process. And once the process is over, then what type of output you want to display in your program. So third step is a output. Let's see the concept with one example. Like now let's we remember our school days in mathematics subject, generally in 5th standard or in a 7th standard. In mathematics we have solved this kind of problems, like one of the definition is if a person is buying 20 apples of 5 rupees each, then what is the total payment we have to give. So this kind of generally problems we have solved in a mathematics subject. So in that case, what generally we are giving the solution, we are guessing certain variable. So we write like this: suppose the total purchase apples are X. So here we generally guess one character like X, P, Q, A, B, whatever you want. Some student may write like this: okay, total purchase apple is A is equal to 20. So you can guess any variable name. This is known as a variable name. So here purchase, total purchase is X, and as per our definition X is equal to 20. Then price of each apple is the Y. Suppose we guess Y variable for price, then here price is 5. Then let's say we want to calculate the total payment. So total payment is amount is Z. Now how we can know the total payment? So generally here as per the definition we can say 20 multiplied by 5. So X multiplied by Y and the result will be stored into Z. So this is the actual logic, and Z is our output, it means 100. So this is the thing. Let's see the another example. They calculate sum of two numbers, and how we can think the logic. So generally, if we want to calculate sum of two number, then we require two number. For example, 5 and 10. So how generally in real life we are solving this problem? So we require two numbers, right? If we want to calculate sum. So suppose number is 5 and 10. So that is our input, right? And how we can calculate sum? So 5 plus. So plus is a operator, right? That we generally use to calculate sum. And once the sum is calculated, then it generates the 15. So it is the output. Now how we can think about in terms of variable? So here we require two numbers. So here we will consider a two variable x and y, and to store the answer we require the third variable. So out of these three variables, generally in our program we require to give an input of two number x and y. Here x and y, instead of x and y you can take pq, abc, whatever, because variable name can be any characters, right? That we'll discuss in a separate video, the different rules for the variables and all. So here in this program we require total three variable x, y and z. Out of three we require to input two variable x and y. Once we input two numbers x and y, then what is the actual logic? So x plus y, that is the sum of that numbers, and it will store into z, and z is the output. So in that way we can identify the variables. And if we convert into the algorithm and flowchart to calculate sum of two numbers, then see, in flowchart, start is the first terminal symbol. Then here three variables are there, x, y and z. Initial value is 0, 0. Then out of three we require to input two numbers, x comma y. So it is input in a cross rectangle, or you can say IO symbols. And what is the actual logic of this program? So x plus y and store into z, and finally z we want to display as a output. So that is again IO symbols and stop. The same we can write in algorithm like start. It considers step number 1, start. Then first we will declare three variables, initialize, or you can say declare x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 0. Then step 3 we require to give a input of two number x comma y. Then step 4, z is equal to x plus y, and print z and stop. This is the algorithm. And the same thing we can convert in C language. So first we require to include two header file, stdio.h, conio.h. stdio.h header file is for printf and scanf, and conio.h for clear screen and getCS function, because all four functions are built-in function, and all built-in functions are defined inside this header file. So void main, because C program always start with the main functions, and inside the main we have to write our actual C program. So first here we have to declare all the variable that is required in our program. So x, y, z, three variables we require, and we will manage only numbers. So the data type is integer. Then clear screen, which clear the old output, and the next first printf enter value of first number x. And how we can write scanf? So scanf %d comma ampersand x. So first value will be stored into x. Similarly, we will input the second number, enter value of second numbers y, then scanf %d ampersand y. So second value will be stored into y. Then this is the actual logic, and in C every statement end with the semicolon. Remember these things. And once z is having an answer, then we will print the sum is or answer is z. So this is one programs that we write the algorithm and flowchart and this. Let's see the another example, calculate square of number. How we can think about the logic. Now see, if I ask you as a student what is the square of a number, then you will say that, sir, please ask me, give me one number, right? So my input is one number to you. If I say 5, what is the square of 5? Then 5 is my input to you, and according to that you will give me a square. 5 multiplied by 5, it's a 25. So here how we can think about the logic to calculate square of a number. So first steps we require to input one number. So for example 4 is a number, step number 1. Then another step is the logic of this program. So how we can calculate? So that number is multiplied 2 times, so that is the logic, and after that it generates the result. So third step is output. Now if how many variables we require to run this program? So one is one number that we have to input, so that is x, and another is the calculate the square, and that answer we require to store in the another variable, So s. So ultimately we in this square of a number program we require total two variable x and s, and x value we will give as a input, and the logic of this program is x multiplied by x, so it becomes a square, and that square will be stored into s, and s finally will display as a output. So this is the general way to think about the logic of this program. Now let's see how we can know the logic of the swapping of two numbers using third variable, right? So swapping means what? The value, suppose in this first number is 5, second number is 7. So to swap these two number we require two number to give a input. Then what is the logic of that? Suppose 5 is the first number, 7 is the second number. So what we will do, first number we will store in a temporary variables, then the second number will assign to the first number, and whatever temporary variable value is there, that will assign to the second number. So finally our output should be 5 becomes 7 and 7 becomes 5. This is the actual process of this program. Now in terms of variable, how many variables we require? So we require to input two numbers. So for that we require x and y, and using third variable then we require the z also. So three variables we require, and we will give a input of x and y. Then here third variable is, you can say, z or t, right? So first number we will assign to third variables, then second we will override to x, and the whatever temporary variable is there, that we will assign to the second. Here there is a by mistake, t instead of t we can mention z over here. Then we will display the value x and y. So let's see how we can write the C program algorithm and flowchart. So flowcharts, again start terminal symbol. In this program we require three variable x and y and z. Then out of three variable we require to give input of two numbers. So x and y we will provide as an input using scanf function. Then this is the actual logic of this program. First number x is temporarily assigned to z. Then second number is override to first number, and for the temporary value is stored to the second one. So this is the logic that we can write in a box or in a square, and after that we will print the x and y. Same steps we can write in terms of algorithm, like step number 1 start, 2 is initialize all three variable, 3 is to input x and y. Then these are the three steps of the logic. X is assigned to z, then second number is assigned to first number, and the temporary variable assigned to the second, and print x and y. And the same thing how we can write the C program. So first we will include two header file, stdio.h and conio.h. Then in main function again we will declare three variables of integer type, clear screen, and from user we will ask two numbers. So first number will store into the x using scanf function, second number will store into the y using second number. So these two steps are the input steps. Through that we are giving input to our program, and when we give two number as a input x and y, then this is the main logic of this program, which will interchange two numbers using the third variable. And after that when you print the value of x and y, it will be interchange. Interchange means, suppose here if I input x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 3, so after this process x becomes 3 and y becomes 5. So that is the interchange value. So I hope friends you understood how we can think about the logic of any C programs. And first we have to think about the list of variables that we require to perform the programs, then identify the data types, then out of all variable how many variables we have to give as input, then what is the process, and finally which output we have to display to the user. That three things if you think, then it means you can write any C program. So in this description, in this video description part, I have also mentioned other theory and practical video link for your reference. So please friends, like this video and share with your friends so they can also get the benefit of this video. And for getting the updates of upcoming video, please subscribe this video channel. Thank you. In next video we will see the another important topic, that is introduction of C character set and concept of C token. Right. So this is very first steps to know the C language, because whenever we want to learn any language, it may be a human being, then first we have to learn the character set. Like in Gujarati, you want to learn the English language, then the character set ABCD you require to learn first, then you require to learn the tokens like a spelling, sentence, like this. Similarly, in C language also, whenever you want to learn the C language, you should aware about the C character set. That we will learn in the next video. Thank you very much, friends.